Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and pause the music real quick. That was a pretty quick intro, nothing really crazy going on there. But today, we are here in the Carenado PA28. This is the Archer 2. Oh, there it is, right there. This is the Archer 2, so few things here. We are flying out of the airport that I fly out of in real life. For my commercial training. So we're going to try to keep this thing, you know, as as realistic as possible. Yeah. The modeling of the airport here, you know, it's not great. The tower kind of does look like that. We do have a hangar there. There is a hangar back there and over there. We're missing all the hangars. A bunch of hangars that go that way, and there's a bunch of hangars that go that way too. And we're missing that. And we would also be, excuse me, parked on the T's, so we would never be facing this way, obviously, with the airplane. But yeah. So I've been putting off doing this stream because this Archer is not good. I don't know. I messed with the settings too a little bit. I turned down like the turbulence setting and stuff to make it not like realistic. So we'll see if that hopefully helps anything out. If it does or doesn't, we'll see. It probably won't, but we'll see. So, what else? Let me see. So we don't have any Archer 2s. The Archer 2 is interesting. It's kind of, it's like a mix between the Warrior and an Archer 3. So let's jump inside here and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So the Archer 2, I mean, this honestly looks a lot like a Warrior. The Warrior has the panel right here, and at least the Warrior that we have. I know there's probably other models of the Warrior as well, but the key as well, that's very Warrior-esque. The leather glare shield, and then no overhead switches. We kind of have like an eyebrow type, I don't know. I don't want to call it an overhead panel. I mean, I guess it kind of is. It kind of isn't. It's not like a 737 or anything, but this stuff is basically up here. There's really nothing down here. So, okay. Like I said, we're going to try to keep this as relatively like realistic as possible. I don't have a checklist with me, so you know we're going to skip some of that stuff, but we'll go into the run-up pad and do the run-up and everything like that. So yeah, I'm also, let me know if there's any issues with my mic. I was messing around with it. I think it sounds pretty good, but I haven't streamed with it yet, so let me know if there's any issues. It shouldn't really peak whenever I talk really loud, and it also shouldn't be too quiet whenever I talk quiet either. So I don't know, we'll see, but let me know if there's any issues with it there. Actually, let me see if where's the, get it here. Or is it filters? Okay, it is in there, so we'll see. I'll watch it back afterwards too. Anyways, one of the first things you do whenever you get inside the airplane, you come down here and you make sure all the circuit breakers are in, nothing's out of place. The alternate static is under here in the Archer 3. Like I said, I don't know where it is in the 2. That's the primer. Interesting. Okay. So you just want to make sure the alternate static is in and where it needs to be. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and get it started up. So we'll go battery and alternator on. Okay. Battery alternator on. Fuel pump on. We'll go anti-collision light on. I don't know. I'm not seeing any strobes. Normally, the Archer doesn't really have like a beacon. Okay, well, this one does, I guess. So normally we just put our strobes on for that. But anyways, mixture full rich. And then we'd prime it up. Okay, that's interesting. I've never seen that before. And then you basically go ahead and flip the keys to start. Engine catches. I wish it was that easy in real life. Bring the throttle right up to about 1,000 RPM, but it doesn't like to sit very nice right there, so it's probably going to idle high or at 0, so we're just going to leave it at idle. We can turn the fuel pump off and the landing light come on because that's our taxi light, so we'll go ahead and do that. Avionics can come on. For my check ride, I believe we're going to do a simulated cross-country to Erie. So we're going to go ahead and try our best to simulate that, and then probably what we're going to get in terms of diversions and stuff. Romeo, India. There it is. And then we'll go CDI to GPS mode, just auto the... we're not going to mess with like frequencies and stuff like that today. We're pretty much just going to try to fly as best we can here. So yeah, let's go ahead and maybe open up Navigraph and see if we can get a little flight plan going. Actually, you know what? I'll just get my iPad. Hang on. Okay. So let's see. We'll go to ForeFlight and we'll go... Okay. Nice. Thanks. Glad that worked. There we go. Beaver to Erie. Obviously, we would have gotten our flight plan and everything and weather briefed and all that stuff, but for today's purposes, we're not really going to do that. We're basically going to be on a northern heading going out of here. And yeah, we could talk about the rest of that in the run-up pad more or less here. All right, make sure there's no flap in because it loves to spawn you in with a flap. But all right, let's go ahead and taxi to the run-up pad. I'm not too sure what the wind is doing out here. Let me see. Actually, I can check. Ooh. Wind is 190, so it's from the south, so basically a crosswind. So we'll just take runway 28. That's pretty standard here. So we're just gonna have to keep kind of jacking up the throttle and then bringing it back. It seems like, because like I said, you want to taxi with it probably a little over 1,000 RPM, somewhere right around there. We're gonna try to do so basically what this flight is going to look like is we're going to try to go through all the commercial maneuvers. We'll see how accurate this thing can do them. I don't have a whole lot of faith, but like I said, we'll see. We're going to try to do a soft field takeoff initially. We're going to try to do a soft field takeoff initially, and then we'll get up, be on course to Erie, have some sort of engine issue, have to divert to a nearby airport. So we'll divert to a nearby airport and probably do some performance takeoffs and landings there. Probably get the soft field takeoff done, the P180 short field landing, and a soft field landing as well. And then go back up and do some maneuvers. Like I said, we'll see how those go. That'll be interesting for sure, but yeah. Alright, so we'll go ahead and make a left into the run-up pad here, and I don't have the checklist, like I said, with me, so I'm going to try to do as much as I can off memory. Alright. Alright. So you go ahead and set your brakes. I usually never set the parking brake. It's just not really something we do. You just hold the toe brakes. But anyways, you go brake set. Instruments check. Well, I guess first you do, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Brakes are set. Fuel's on the right tank. It'll be on the left tank. And then usually you have a timer going and switch it every 30 minutes. So I guess we could try to get that going. Where would the timer be on here? Is there even one? I don't even know. Oh, is that? That might be, it's 13 like minutes though, so I don't know. Ah, anyways, whatever. Oh, is this the transponder? Holy smokes. Be 1200. What? Okay. Interesting. All right, cool. Okay. Brake set, fuels on the left tank for the next 30 minutes, trims takeoff, flight control check, You can't really, the thing that sucks is in the Archers is there's no back window, so you can't really see the elevator, but just make sure that moves both ways. The right aileron moves both ways, left aileron moves both ways. Instruments, airspeed at 0, attitude indicators within 5 degrees, 5 minutes after engine start, altimeters within 75 feet, wings level ball centered on the turn slip indicator. Heading indicator, that's giving us about a 195, so is that. Make sure those two match, and if you have a G5, it'll automatically match because it's electric. And that's our 0. And then we bump it up to 2,000 RPMs, do a magneto check. Are the brakes holding me? Okay, looks like they are. I'll go right mag first. No more than 175, no more than 50 between the two. That's about 100. Come on, get all the way up there. Alright, that's a good drop as well. Fuel tanks look good. Let's see, that's the fuel pressure. Oil temperature's in the green. Oil pressure's in the green as well. Alternator's good. You can flick it off and make sure there's a decrease and an increase. That's how you know that's working. And then I don't know if there's probably not a volts or there should be a vacuum. Oh, okay, there's the vacuum. So there should be a way to switch it into like alternate mode usually, but it doesn't look like there is in here. So I think it's within 4.8 and 5.2 or something like that, and that looks, it's in the green. That's all that matters. It looks like we're about where it needs to be. We'll go ahead and idle it out and make sure the carb heat works with it at idle. And it does, so we'll go ahead and put the carb heat back in. And then for the pre-takeoff checklist, we're going to go fuel pump on, landing light on, pitot heat can stay off, not required. Mixture is full rich. We're going to go flaps 2 for the soft field takeoff. And then for the soft field takeoff, well actually, and then in case of an emergency, pull power, apply max brakes on the runway. If we're under 800 feet, we're going to go to the golf course. There's a golf course off to the left side there. And if we're over 800 feet, we'll be able to make it back to the runway. Any questions? No. Great. For the soft field takeoff, we're going to rotate as soon as possible. Accelerate to 64 in ground effect. We're going to accelerate to 64 in ground effect and then 76 as we retract the flaps. So right now you'd start pulling back on the stick all the way. This is essentially simulating a takeoff on grass. So we'll see how this thing does with that. I'm not anticipating good things here, but we'll see. All right, here we go. We'll just go ahead and, you're not really supposed to pump the brakes, but anyway. All right. RPMs are stable, green oil temperature, oil pressure, airspeed's coming alive. And like I said, we're just gonna try to hold this off until, yeah, like we don't want to tail strike or anything, but we do want to get off the ground. Okay, we don't want to set it back down either. Level off in ground effect. Level off in ground effect till about 64, catch it at 64. And then start letting the nose come down a little bit. 2 positive rates, flap 1. 2 more positives, flaps clean, and we're climbing out at 76. Wow, that's loud. I'll turn that down a little bit for you guys. I don't know if it's loud for you, but it's loud for me. Alright, once we hit 500 feet, we can go ahead and make our right turn. Well, actually, yeah, it'll be a right turn. 500 feet, right turn approved. They'd probably give us over to Pittsburgh. Departure now. Let's see. Nav. Can I get... There we go. That's nice. Okay. And then we'll just go direct. Enter. No? There we go. And we'll say we'll climb up to about 30,500 initially. And we'll just be on that heading for not too long, just a little while. Climb checklist between 76 and 87, I think it usually is. We're there. Power's full, mixture's rich, instruments all looking good, and our landing light can come off. Was that our landing light? Yeah, it was. And landing light can come off, and then sometimes it says fuel pump off, but I like to leave the fuel pump on in the climb till we get to our altitude, our level off altitude, because of just in case it fails or whatever. Okay, so the trim does work, so that's kind of nice to know. Kind of aggressive, but it works. I think, let's see. Alright, so coming up on 35, we'll go ahead and level it off, start pulling some power out. Get a bit of a cruise power setting. Overshot it just a little bit there. And then now that we're at cruise, we can go ahead and turn our fuel pump off. Fuel pressure still looks good. And while we're kind of stable here, I'm going to see if I can't... Let me see. Can I, like, just make up a flight here? Oops, sorry. Beaver. I don't know how you can just... How do you flights unload? Ah, here we go. Okay, wait. New flight origin. There we go. Add. And then destination is going to be Erie. So add that to our route as well. Alright, this is actually not too bad. This is pretty decently stable right now. Alright, so right around now would probably be whenever he would be able to say, okay, looks like your oil pressure is actually running a little bit high. You know, what would that, what are some things that could mean? Well, that could mean that we maybe have a just like a faulty regulator or an erroneous reading potentially, but either way, basically the only cure for a high oil temperature while you're in the air is to reduce the RPM to as low as possible and land as quickly as possible. So you can go direct. Let's see if the nearest function works. That'd be kind of impressive if it did. It doesn't. We have Newcastle off our let's see, off our front left here in a few miles, it looks like. So that would be a good place to go. I'm not going to necessarily put it in on there. I'll use the power necessary. Actually, I should put it in here. We're going to use a little extra power just because I need to figure this out. Charlie, and then Papa. UCP, Newcastle, go ahead and go direct to Newcastle. And so now another thing you can do on the 430 that you can't really do in here is you could bring up frequencies and stuff like that. However, on the chart, Newcastle says their CTAF is 124, 175, so we'd be on that saying, hey, Newcastle traffic, whatever our tail number is, we're about 6 miles to the south. We're going to be inbound for I don't know, what are we doing here? Simulated diversion, gonna cross over the midfield. Should we, what are the winds in Newcastle right now? Obviously you'd have this all figured out before you start making your call. They're giving 230 at 16, gusting 22. So, they have runways 3-1 and 2-3. So we'll take runway 2-3. So we can essentially set up on a long, we can enter on a 45 to the downwind for runway 2-3 from where we're coming from right now. So that'll probably be our best case scenario. Airport elevation is 1072. Let's round that up to 1100 plus 1000 for pattern height is going to give us 2100 feet is going to be our pattern altitude today. So we'll go ahead and drop it down to 3000. We should be, I mean, we can keep it coming down. We should be pretty close. I don't know exactly. It's basically right off our nose somewhere. So anyways, we'd say Newcastle traffic, you know, Archer, whatever, is about 4 miles to the south, inbound for the midfield. I'm sorry, 45 for the left downwind runway 23 Newcastle. And so since we're coming in on downwind anyways, we can probably try to set up for a P180. Couldn't hurt the engine anyways. Inside 10 miles, we're going on the pre-landing checklist. That's essentially just fuel pump landing light on. Make sure everything's where it needs to be there. Still at 3,000 feet. Can probably keep coming down. We should be able to have the airport in sight. It's right off our nose. Keep that altitude coming down. Oh wait, is that? That's not it, is it? Yeah, it's just a road. Do they, I wonder if they don't even have it. Do they have it modeled? They have to. I mean, surely it's at least a dirt strip or something. 2100 is going to be pattern height. So we don't want to, I mean, you don't want to get too low because, especially if you can't even see the field yet, you know, I think that might be, I think that's the field right there. There's just nothing there. I think that's, yeah, yep, that's the beacon. Okay. So now we have the field in sight. We'll continue our descent down to 2100 here. And we're going to try to join the left downwind. Give another call. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever is 2 miles to the south, entering the left downwind runway 23, Newcastle. Another cool thing you could do here would be OBS mode. And you can kind of draw out essentially the center line. You could turn your nav 1 to about a 230-ish heading, and it would draw out it would be like a little localizer kind of intercept for you. It's a pretty cool feature. Don't want to descend too low there. Want to get nice and tight for this P180. You know, but again, obviously the power is an issue, so I probably used too much there, but we are still in the sim, and having it at a lower idle it wants to pull it all the way to idle, so we don't want that. So we can go ahead and give them a call. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever, we're left downwind runway 23, going to be a full stop, Newcastle traffic. So we are going to be a full stop on this one. Let's try to keep it as best we can at about 2100. And there's our 1000 footers. Let's go ahead and go under 102, flaps 1, power to idle. And basically, how I do the P180s is I'm just looking out the window the whole time, for the most part. I mean, I'm watching altitude. You know, I try to basically see the whole runway out the back here. Now, we're already slow and we're getting kind of far. So, you know, we should probably start... You know, you want to be about 80, 90 knots. Like normally whenever I pull the power on the P180 and I'm on the downwind, I'm doing about 90 knots till somewhere around base, and then I'm about 80, 85. So we're a little high. Let's trade some airspeed for altitude for airspeed, however you want to put it. I don't know how slipping this thing would go in the sim, but in real life, you know, being closer is a lot better than being farther away, because if you're closer, you can just slip it and lose a lot of altitude really fast. But if you're farther, you have no power. There's nothing you can do. So it looks like we're pretty on profile here, a little fast. If you can cross the threshold at about 80, 85 knots, you're gonna hit it. So we're aiming to touch it down right on the 1,000 footers here. Like I said, a little fast, but we're gonna be right around in ground effect here. Trying to be super gentle on the controls. Didn't mean to pull it up that high or let it come down that much. And then you essentially just kind of drop it in. And that's it. That is a hit P180. You can be a little long, but you just do not want to be short on the P180. You can be long, but don't be short. I think you get plus 200 feet, which is around 1 or 2 stripes. So right there, already something that I can tell that I missed is making some traffic calls there. I got kind of locked in with the P180 and talking to you guys, but still you should be making more traffic calls. You should be making more traffic calls. I should have been able to call my my base there and my final turn and everything. So let's go ahead and taxi back if we can. And then once we get clear here, we'll call them clear of runway 23. In Newcastle traffic, Archer or whatever, we're clear of runway 23, gonna taxi back via Alpha, whatever the taxiway is here. So, I don't know, this doesn't... I don't know what's going on here, but we're gonna have to find a way to get over to Alpha. We might have to cut through the grass, or over to runway 23, we might have to cut through the grass or something. Okay, so after landing, good, pick the flaps up, we can turn the fuel pump off, and the landing light stays on because that's our taxi light in this beautiful airplane. So now basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a short field takeoff, followed by a short field landing, and then do a go around, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean basically just a touch and go on that, and then follow that up, finish off the takeoffs and landings with the soft field landing. So the short field landing is kind of the next hardest thing. Yeah, we're going to go through the grass here, by the way. The ARF guys here in Newcastle, that's not realistic. I don't know where that taxiway... Oh, we could have gone right there. That's okay. See, this is a perfect example of where you would actually want to use your short field, or I'm sorry, soft field technique, where you're pulling back on the stick, keep the pressure off the nose wheel. This is a perfect example of that. That's exactly why I wanted to do this. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was the threshold. So anyways, we can let the nose down. Okay, so for the short field takeoff, we're going to use as much runway as possible. We're going to go full power, apply max brakes. We're going to go flaps 2 as well, so let's go ahead and get that ready. Go fuel pump on. I don't remember... I think it's rotate at 55, and then accelerate to 64. Once you're over the 50-foot obstacle, you can go ahead and pick your flaps up, and get 2 positives and everything like that. So we'll rotate at 55, and go from there. So... essentially now these lights are a little close, you know, that'd be a concern obviously, but you want to get as far back as you can and then really just crank it. Yeah, really just crank it. Yeah, stop on the runway. That's exactly what you want to do here. And you really want to try to get even more runway than that if you can. So anyways, your brakes set. Full power. Do all your checks here. RPMs are stable. Green oil, temperature, oil, pressure. Release the brakes. Airspeed's coming alive. $50, $55. Rotate. Rotate nice and easy here. We got 2 flaps in. We're not going to need much. And we're climbing out at 64 knots until we're over a 50-foot obstacle. Or you can essentially select, we're over our 50-foot obstacle now, or you can look out the window, make sure there's no trees or anything in your way, Let the nose come down a little bit, start accelerating. 2 positive rates, flap 1. 2 positive rates, flap 2. Missed the traffic calls again. I promise I don't do that in real life too much. Yeah, Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever's left crosswind off runway 23. You're gonna be making left traffic, Newcastle traffic. So the 2 hardest landings on the Checkride are essentially the P180 and the short field landing, because they both have to be very precise, and you have to put it on the short field. I'm sorry, the P180 is on the 1,000 footers, and the short field landing is on the numbers, or whatever the DP specifies. So, you know, they're both, like I said, they're both pretty precise. And the P180, obviously, you have no power, so that's why that one's the hardest. But for the short field landing, you still do have power, which is nice. It's at about 2,000, 2,100 is going to be our traffic pattern altitude. Newcastle traffic, Archer, or whatever. We're left down on runway 23, touch and go, Newcastle. So right as we become a beam, so like the last time our aiming point was the 1,000 footers, so we pulled our power at the 1,000 footers. Now we're abeam the numbers, which is our aiming point this time. So we're not going to pull our power all the way, but just establish a nice descent. Under 102, we'll go flaps 1. And we're looking, this one is a slow approach. Like, we're looking for about 60 knots indicated as we're coming in here for this one. So this is just a normal pattern and everything like that. Just slow and short. Slow and short. Doesn't have to be soft, just like the P180 does not have to be soft. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever, we're left base. Runway 23, touch and go, Newcastle. So we'll go ahead and go flaps 2 if I didn't already. Is that flap? Yeah, it's flaps 2. Keep this turn probably just rolling into a final turn. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever, we're turning final, runway 23, touch and go, Newcastle. So we'll go ahead and throw that last notch of flaps in and start slowing up. Speed management is definitely something that I've struggled with in the sim. Not so much in real life. It's a little easier to do it in real life, but like, you know, right now you're technically in the region of reverse command where you're adding flaps and you're in slow flight. So pulling power should affect your altitude and your rate of descent more, and then your pitch should affect your airspeed. So I should be able to pull back and bleed off a bunch of airspeed, but instead I have to basically be power idle. I mean, my power is idle right now, and I'm still doing 70 knots. So it's just it's a little different than real life for sure. But we'll see if I can judge this right and hopefully put it right on the numbers. Because the pappies are off too. I mean, this looks like a pretty good sight picture to me, if not even a little low in real life. But, you know, I'm getting 2 red, 2 white now. I've kind of got it a little better. Let's see. A little much there. Let's go ahead and power to idle. Looking to essentially be flaring over the threshold. And, oh, just get it down. And then your maximum braking, flaps up immediately. Again, maximum aerodynamic braking too, so you're pulling back on the stick. That might have been a little bit long. I probably didn't need all that nose up right there, but like I said, the flying in the sim is just a little bit different, but DP says it wasn't short, so it's good. Okay, so we're essentially the 2 really most difficult maneuvers are over with and out of the way. We're still flying, so the DP is relatively happy with what we're doing. Our flaps are up, our fuel pump's coming off, our landing light's staying on. DP is happy with what we're doing. We got the P180 out of the way, and we got the short field landing out of the way. So now we're going to do a normal takeoff into a soft field landing, which is basically you're just trying to grease it and hold the nose off, essentially, is all you're doing. Something that I'm very bad at doing. So we'll see how this one goes. But after this, we're going to essentially, we're going to do a touch and go again, and we're going to depart to the, west. And we'll try to kind of get into our practice area Let's see, Newcastle's there, so we'd be... Where's, like, I doubt Bessemer's on there. Akron Regional, so where's, like... Could maybe try to find a lake or something. I mean, we'll just do maneuvers. Oh, Bessemer is on there. Okay, we'll just go to Bessemer. It's... Alright, pre-takeoff checklist. Fuel pump on. Flaps 2. Did it get flaps 2? Yeah, okay. Flaps 2. And... Oh, I'm sorry, no. No. Flaps 0. Because we're doing a normal takeoff. And so we'll try to remember the traffic call this time. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever. Taking runway 23 for left traffic, Newcastle. There you go. And we're going to rotate at 60, climb out at 76 on this one. So nothing special. No need to use max usable runway. No need to be back on the stick or anything. Woo. All right, we'll go ahead and go full power. Check out our RPMs. They're stable. Green, grain, oil, temperature, oil pressure. Airspeed's coming alive. And 60 rotate. Oh, wait. You know what? I said I wanted to do a a touch and go on that one, too, but I got carried away with the whole procedure of the short field and jammed on the brakes and everything. It's alright. We'll do a touch and go on this one for sure. Newcastle traffic, Archer, or whatever. We're upwind runway 23 Newcastle. Alright, there's about our 500 feet. Let's go ahead and make our left turn. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever. We're left crosswind runway 23 Newcastle. And that nose get a little low there. Let's keep that climb rate coming. Let's go ahead and make our left downwind. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever. We're left down on runway 23 Newcastle. Coming right up on 2100 here, just about. We climbed a little bit through it last time, so let's go ahead and try not to do that this time. Alright guys, like I said, so far so good on the Checkride prep here. Probably going to do a few more of these before April 8th, which is the day I go. Just keep an eye out for that threshold, essentially. We're going to start reducing some power, get it below 102, and then we'll go flaps 1. And this one is a little bit faster. You're looking at about 65 knots on this one. Okay, let's pull power all the way because we're not getting below 102. Alright, there's 102, flap 1. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever, turning left base, runway 23, Newcastle, touch and go. Turning base, let's go ahead and go flaps 2. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Newcastle traffic, Archer, whatever, turning final, runway 23, touch and go, Newcastle. It's gonna go with that third flap. Like it's saying we're still 4 white, but like, I don't know. If I saw that... Yeah, I mean, 3 white, 2 red now. So, okay, we're looking good. Just a little off there. So again, we're still looking for 70 knots though, so like we need power idle here. And so basically the only goal for this is just to make it as soft as possible and hold the nose wheel off for as long as possible. So correcting on the 3 red there. Again, normally you just jam in a bunch of power, but that's more speed in the sim, so... Get the runway made. We'll go ahead and go pull power. Start rounding it off here. Trying to get the nose up to a high angle of attack. Oh, what was that? Nose is still up. Nose is still up. There we go. Nose is down. Let's go ahead and get the flaps out and get on out of here. We'll take it. I think that was a pretty good transition into the flare and into the kind of roll out 60 rotate. That was a good transition into the flare. I don't know what that huge bump up was. Newcastle traffic archer, whatever. We're on the go, runway 23 Newcastle. So we're going to be departing to the west and basically straight out. So we're depart to the southwest here. Yeah, pretty much literally straight out. In 500 feet, we'll go ahead and make this last call. Newcastle traffic archer, whatever, we are departing the pattern straight out to the southwest. Last call, Newcastle. All right, guys, so I'd say we hit all three of those. The soft field was questionable, but like I said, I don't know what that balloon flare-up was there. I mean, that... I'd say we're pretty good. Climb checklist, 76 to 87 we are. Power's full, mixture's rich. Instruments still all reading correctly. About a 230 heading. Fuel pump can stay on, landing light can come off. And we'll go to 3,000 for this. 3,000 here. Alright guys, like I said, all things considered, I think this is going pretty good. I'm actually pretty pleased with the Archer today. We'll see how it does in the maneuvers though. I mean, the takeoffs and landings and stuff like that it's pretty easy for it to simulate well, but we'll see how it does with the actual maneuvers. Because this is where Microsoft is most lacking, so... We'll level it off here at 35. Bessemer is just off our right side here, so we'll just angle ourselves a little bit over, fly for maybe another minute or two, and then we'll go ahead and do some clearing turns, and we'll get into slow flight, and we'll try to do some stalls. Last time I tried to do stalls in this thing, it just crashed and burned, so hopefully I don't lose it, but we'll see. About 150 feet high right now too, so let's go ahead and lose that altitude. Alright, so on the 250 heading, we'll go ahead and do some clearing turns. Alright, hang on, we gotta get this altitude thing straightened out though. Pre-landing checklist, brakes, landing light on, fuel pumps on, instruments all reading correctly, flaps required. So we'll go ahead and go with a 90-degree turn to the left. Scanning through the windscreen here, just looking at the outside for the most part, just identifying any airplanes that maybe aren't up on ADS-B, you know, anything like that. And there's about that 90-degree turn, roll it back to the right, same thing, just making sure that there's nobody else out here that isn't reporting themselves to be. And there we go. Let's go ahead and roll back out on the 250 heading. And let's get into slow flight. Let's get into slow flight. So we'll go power idle. I mean, normally you wouldn't have to go idle, but again, we're working with a sim here. Under 102, flap 1. Flaps 2. And flaps full. We're going to declare 65 knots and try to hold right around 65, 70. You know, let's say he says give us a right turn to the north, so let's go ahead and do that. Nice and easy, nice and stable. Let's say it gives us a left turn back to the west. Alright, not too bad there. Let's get a power off stall to the full stall. So let's go ahead and power idle. Establish a 500 foot per minute descent. Stall the airplane. Horn buffet. And stall. So let's go ahead and full power. See, that is not... Flap 1 immediately. Catch it at 64. Two positive flaps, 2. Or 1, I guess. 2 positive flaps clean. Back up to 3,000. So that wasn't very accurate, I wouldn't say, but what are you going to do? Alright, let's do a power on stall to the first indication. So that'll be either the stall warning horn or a buffet or anything of those sorts. So essentially just power to idle. Okay, that's not... Alright, let's go ahead and rotate, and there's first indication, so we'll just go ahead and recover. Okay, good recovery. I can't say I've ever got the stall horn before I even entered the maneuver. Okay. So the last stall that's left is an accelerated stall, so you're essentially just looking at cruise power under VA, and then roll right into a 45-degree bank and stall the airplane this way, or first indication, there it is, full power, nose down, and recover. And that's basically the accelerated stall. It's super duper easy. Okay. So with that being said, let's say wind's out of the west. Let's do some... Oh, let's do steep turns, actually. So I'll just go right off the nose, essentially. This is gonna be fun. I bet these are gonna be absolutely terrible. Alright, we'll go with that lake right off our nose. Roll into the left. Somewhere right around 5 degrees, right at the screw. Still too much nose up there. Yep, that's on me. It's alright. Whoa. See, there's an accelerated stall for you. Is that it? No, it's on this one. Oh, a little more. Okay, and then right into the right turn. About a 240, 250 heading. Okay. I didn't really check my heading, I'm not gonna lie. Wow, how did that... Where'd that 1,000 foot per minute descent come from? Jeez. Okay. Let's do those again. I know obviously we wouldn't be able to do those on the Checkride again, but let's do it again. The one to the right just got crazy. So we'll just go right into the left here. I rolled through the heading a little bit there. Let's go ahead and do it right back to the right. Where does that, yeah, where does the lift go on the right side? Why does it just, why do we just start dropping? are coming up on that 240. There it is. Roll it out. Okay. All right. Not bad. I mean, I think those ones would have passed more or less, but that was pretty rough. Okay. Steep turn is good. All right. We'll say the wind's coming out of the west, and we'll do some lazy eights. I can turn off my iPad. I haven't really using that too much. Alright, so it's about west. Set up right around 3,000. Get it under VA here, and we'll say, you know, we got our point off our left wing. And we'll go ahead and roll into this left turn, just a little bit of pitch up. Looking to gain about 250 feet of altitude here, so I'm not looking forward to these ones either. We'll see how this goes. All right, there we go. Start rolling it back out. Send back down to our starting altitude. Gotta keep it rolling out though. Keep the turn coming, keep the turn coming. Alright, there's west again. Let's go ahead and roll into the right. Pretty mid steep or lazy 8 there. Nothing, not great, not great. I let it roll out too much on its own. Alright, be coming level through the 90-degree point. Let's keep the bank in, keep the descent rate coming. Take a little bit of bank out. A little bit of attitude out, a little bit of bank out, and there we go. That one was money. Right on our west heading and right about 50-ish feet high, so we'll take it. Okay, so we'll take that. Let's go ahead and do a Chandelle. That's a max performance climb, so we'll go ahead and go full power and roll into a 30-degree bank and pitch up. Looking for about 80 knots right around the 90-degree point there, so a little aggressive maybe on the pitch up. I'm gonna go up to about 6,000. What was that? And there's our right to west. Lower level off, let the speed accelerate, declare 3,600. There's our speed back. Let's go right turn again here. It's not a bad thing getting the stall horn there right at the end. That's actually kind of what you're looking for. Let the speed come back up, declare 4,200. All right, if I declared 4,200, I suck. All right, 30 degrees of bank. You know, it's a little aggressive right now. Let's go ahead and let some bank out just a little bit. There's our 90-degree point. There's 5,000. We'll go ahead and hold that, and probably probably two more turns. And we'll go to the right, 30 degrees of bank. We're on a 500, 600 foot climb there. That's about what you'd expect to see. I'd say that's pretty accurate. All right, last turn here pretty much. On our quest for 6,000 feet. Let's get up to it. All right, pretty much going to level off right at 6,000 feet. What's up, Pilot Mateo? Welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're having a good day. What's going on? So the ACS doesn't specify here whether you have to be a tailwind or a headwind, but I've been doing them as a tailwind. So we'll go ahead and turn away from west. And this has been probably the toughest maneuver for me. Honestly, this is the Carenado Archer 2. This is PA28. Just doing some commercial maneuvers today. Not much. Good, dude. Good to hear. Good to hear. Doing some commercial maneuvers, practicing for my commercial check ride, which is coming up here. So you want to, not go outside the airplane, but you want to essentially get to where you can see something. You want to pick a point that's coming right about here. So we're going to use something nice and big that we're going to be able to see here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I mean, you'd want to see it in real life too. Obviously pretty good. We're going to pitch for 80 knots. All right, let's go ahead and pull our power. We're going to pitch for that 80 knots, and we're going to roll into our bank. There's our point right there. And now we're essentially just going to need to do what we need to do to keep it in a position where we can land on it. We need to recover by about by 1,500 feet AGL. Youngstown Elser is right next to us. Elser Airport elevation is about 1070, so about 1,100. So we need to recover by 2,600. Yeah, 2,600 feet. The plane is not free, unfortunately. It should be free because this thing kind of sucks. But, nah, it's alright. But it is not free. There's our point right there. Oh, losing that 80 knots. See, where's our western heading? It's coming up here. So one turn down, go ahead and clear the throttle real quick. She looks like an old bird. She is an old bird. Yeah, this is an old bird, dude. We are, we're gonna be doing an airline stream after this, but I figured before we did that, we should probably get some real work done here on my commercial and practice this a little bit, so. Oh, okay. Our west is coming back around here. We should have our recovery by 20, what did I say, 2600? Should have no problem with that. Next live stream at 3. Gotta do it a little bit earlier than that. I'm pretty much gonna roll right into it. I'm gonna end this stream, maybe give myself like 20 minutes and then start the next one. So it'll be probably close to 1 o'clock. Alright, so on our third turn here, we're going to roll out and recover within 10 degrees of our heading, which we are. And above that, yeah, we're above our platform altitude of 2600, so we're good to go there. So let's keep it coming down though. You know, let's say at this point he says, oh, okay, you got an engine fire. Okay, so that's going to require an emergency descent. That's about 45 degrees of bank, 120 knots. And you know, you're just kind of running through some of these checklists here. So you'd go mixture out, fuel selector off, fuel pump off, and you're kind of just making sure. And he wants me to recover by, what did he say? I forget what he wants me to recover by, but let's say he says 2500 he wants me to recover by. So I'll go ahead and start rolling this out. Wow, really went through that a little bit there, but that's okay. Just subscribed. Yo, thanks, Pilot Mateo. Appreciate you, dude. Always appreciate that. Okay, winds out of the west, so we're gonna do some 8s on pylons, or yeah, 8s on pylons. And we're gonna keep it coming down to about 2100. Keep it coming down to about 2100. There looks like there's some good points over here. Alright, so let's see. This will be about our heading, left quartering tailwind. Just looking for points essentially, so nothing really too crazy out here. This is probably going to be tough in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's obviously not really many houses or anything like that. I mean, there are some. We could try to use maybe one of these coming up here. Make sure there's something back there. There's something back there. All right, we'll go with it. We'll go with, we're going to go with this house right here off the left tip. I mean, this is a terrible point, but the goal of this maneuver is to not really change your bank that much, but to just keep that house off the edge of the wing with your pitch. It's a terrible point. This is absolutely terrible, but like I already, like it's gone. The house is gone, but that's okay. It's not all going to be perfectly accurate here. It's going to be that last house in the row by the big farm. We're coming all the way around until we get a right quartering tailwind here. So essentially that western heading's on our right quartering side, which it just about is, right about at our pivotal altitude, which is great. And then coming over here looking for a good point. I guess I shouldn't do that. I should try to stay over here because that's where I'm going to be in my check ride. We can use the turnpike, which is what we're going to do because that's all we got. So it's a little longer than I would have liked. It's way longer than I would have liked, especially with a bad point to begin with, but the turnpike is a good point. Like, this is a good point to use right here. But that house is terrible, and it's going to be so hard to find whenever we go back. And that's a way to fail a check ride. If you don't find your point that you circled around your first time on the way back, you will fail the check ride. So it's a very poor point selection from me. I don't know what that's about, why it does that, but alright, keep an eye out for this left quartering here. Still like so far away. I just didn't have enough bank in probably, I guess. I mean, I was almost flying flat there for a minute. Do you have any add-ons like the Thrustmaster yoke? Yeah, I have the, so I have, all right, so hang on, let me really quickly, we're going to finish this maneuver out and then basically head back. And I believe that's all the maneuvers on the commercial check ride. Okay, so wait, there's our building. Let's see where if I can find this little house. And it was the one closest to the building, not that one. But it was, I think it actually was that one. Yeah, all right, so either way, I mean, I'll take that, especially for the sim, but yeah, because it was the last one. Okay, cool. So we'll take that. We're going to head back to Beaver now, so let's go back up to 3,000, and I'll try to get direct Beaver in here. We'll see. Oh, where is it? Bruh. There it is, Beaver. Okay, dude. Here we go. Okay, so, let's see, what did we do? We did lazy eights, steep spiral, Shondells, 8s on pylons, all the stalls, all the takeoffs and landings. I'm trying to think if there's any other maneuvers. I don't think so. I think we're good. I think we did pretty all right with that. So now on our way back to Beaver, we'd be getting the weather, and we're about 12 miles out, so we'll call tower whenever we're 10 miles out. We'll stay here at 3,000. Climb checklist, 76 to 87. We are, power's full, mixture's rich. Instruments still reading correctly. Fuel pump come off. Taxi light can come off, or landing light can come off now that we're up at cruise. And we're just going to be heading back to Beaver. Not too bad, guys, not too bad. I'm actually pretty happy with how this plane handled everything. It was so bad for a while there. I don't know, man. I maybe messing with the settings kind of helped. Like I said, I turned down the turbulence, so that probably helped a little bit, and it made it a little less bumpy. And I made it clear as a bell outside, so no wind really either. So I think that all helped out. But yeah, Mateo, to answer your question, I have the honeycomb throttle and the honeycomb yoke. That's what I'm using right now. So that's what I always use. I have the Thrustmaster side stick whenever I fly Airbus too. So that's what I got going on. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Okay, you have that too? Yeah, I like it. How do you like it, Mateo? Do you think it's good? Ooh, nice. Miami Center is up, so we'll have some ATC on this next flight. Definitely stop by here at about 1 o'clock. I think I'm going to be doing a flight from Tampa to Houston as a part of Simbit's Pilot's Life. You have the side stick and the throttle. Love it. Yeah, man. Absolutely love it. As well. Yeah, guys, join in for the next stream too. We're gonna be streaming at about I would say probably around 1 o'clock is gonna be the next stream, and we're gonna be going from Tampa to where did I just say? Houston, IAH. So, and that's going to be a part of the Simbit World A Pilot's Life stream. As I said, we're just going to do a normal landing back in Beaver to finish off our check ride here. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to try a P180 on the right side just because. Why not? With speed brake and flaps. Yeah, I love having that too. I have the flaps and the speed brakes as well. I ordered ProDesk Sim like throttle add-ons, and they haven't shipped or anything yet from what I understand. So I feel like I got scammed from them, which would be disappointing, honestly. Pre-landing checklist, brakes, pedal test, landing light, fuel pump on, and flaps required, not required right now. So I'd probably dropping down to pattern altitude. We're about 4 miles out. They told us to enter the right downwind runway 28, and short approach is approved. So we're going to be expecting that. Okay, why does it always bank to the right? I can't not look for 1 second. Yep, that's our field there. Okie dokie, that's a lot. Yeah, I know. Mateo, how quick do I answer your question? Like, how long does it take whenever you type something and then you get a response back from me? Because I think I fixed the delay. I tried to make it like 1 second, so it's like non-existent, but gonna test ourselves on this approach here. Like I said, P180 from the right side, not easy, so we'll see how she goes. What plane are you gonna fly? We're gonna fly the 737 for this second part of the stream. We're gonna be in the 737. We're not taking the Archer from Tampa to Houston, I'll tell you that much. It takes a minute, really? Oh, geez. Okay, so I gotta keep working on that. I hate that stupid delay. Hotel Tower, we're midfield right downwind, runway 28. Say, alright, Archer, whatever. Runway 28, cleared to land. Alright, 28, clear to land. So we want to stay at our freaking pattern altitude. Jeez. I don't know where that went. Okay, what are we doing here? Well, it takes a minute, though. That's not necessarily fast. I wish... Ah, shoot. And we're long on this. Alright, this is going to be fun. We'll go flaps 1. I wish it would answer... I'm trying to answer, like, a second type thing, you know? Like, I'm not trying to wait... Make you guys be waiting, like, a minute for answers. Trying to hold 80, 90 knots through here. Let's see, where's this runway gonna be? Okay, looking pretty good, actually. Looking pretty good on this. Little low, actually. I'm kind of surprised by that, but we'll see. Like I said, low is a problem. More like 30 seconds? Okay. Well, still. Low is a problem, and this is why, because you can't add power or anything like that, so we're probably going to miss this one. We'll see. I'll try to add some flaps and stuff to see if I can't salvage this. And we're crossing at about 70 knots. Maybe we can make it here. 60, give me another flap. Pop me up a little bit. Oh my gosh, give me another flap. Oh my gosh, we got it. Oh my gosh, we got it. We hit it. That probably wasn't very realistic either, but we'll take it. Right at Charlie, ground point 8. And we'll shut this thing down and hop in a real airplane. Mateo, how does my mic sound too? Is it okay? Because I was messing around with it quite a bit. I'll go flaps up. Fuel pump off. Taxi light stay on because that's our, or I'm sorry, landing light stay on because that's our taxi light 2. Then we'd obviously run the shutdown checklist and everything. You landed better than me. Are you flying in real life, Mateo, or no? It's fine? Okay, good. This parking job is not going to be good, though, I'll tell you that. Where did the line go? Okay. We try to put it right around the wing there. Okay. We'll set the parking brake just for the heck of it. We don't usually do that. And we'll go avionics off. Normally you'd turn this all the way off till it clicks and then shut it off, but it doesn't look like that works. So we'll just go avionics off. And we'll go ahead and kill the mixture. Okay, go away. And master off, mags off, lights off. Alright, guys. That was pretty cool, honestly. It wasn't too bad, I don't think. Alright, now open. You have to, like, outside to open it? How does it, like, actually open? If you need help with your mic, there's a huge delay. There's a huge delay in what? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh! Always tough stepping out of those Archers, dude. I hate that it only has one door, but fun, fun, fun. Terrible park job, but a pretty fun flight tonight or today. So thank you, Mateo, for stopping by. I will hopefully see you here again in a few minutes. Like I said, I'm going to try to start this next stream up at about 1 o'clock. And we're going to be going from Tampa to Houston. So it'll be a couple-hour flight, so we'll have some time to chit-chat at Cruise if you stop by. But thank you guys again for everything, and we'll probably be doing a couple more of these. Like I said, I got about 3 weeks till my Checkride, so we got to get everything buttoned up, chef's kiss. So like I said, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.